So the community has been in uproar the last few days from a recent GameSpot interview involving a Genshin Impact dev. And to quote the line that has sparked most of the drama, it is, "If we design another type of permanent endgame content that is similar to the Spiral Abyss, it might end up creating excessive anxiety for our players. Not everyone is interested in Musgrave." And this was a answer in response to if they planned on adding more content like the Spiral Abyss. The two sides of the fandom, one of which is more casual and the other hardcore, have been going all out in forums, social media, and YouTube comments, with this quote as the center of it all. There are some other interesting answers to this interview, and I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't, but you probably already have, so I'll just get into my 2 cents on this particular subject. And for that, I first have to mention that I've been playing Genshin Impact since launch day. For a time, I was as hardcore as they came. I was focused on min-maxing, making the best builds possible, doing all the research into the elemental reactions. But I slowly came to the realization that there was no point in min-maxing, and making the strongest builds really, how do I say this, weren't necessary, I guess I'd put it. Coming to grips with that kind of took me out of it, and I quit the game for over a year. This was around the time that Hu Tao came out. I don't know the exact version, but I think within that time frame I logged in maybe once or twice. I never followed up with the story, and I never did any of the limited time events. I watched from afar, very, briefly, checking things out, and I saw no actual changes to this issue that I had. And I didn't come back until 2.7 actually, when I realized I just wanted to play the game again. I wanted to go explore Tevat. I wanted to listen to the amazing music. And I still do. The combat is still amazing. I still love the combat, even all this time later. It's just a matter of there's nothing to really test the limits of my combat with. But I've come to grips with that the game does not cater to me specifically. It caters to the more casual people, and I'm fine with that. I've moved on to other games for that particular fix, and now I'm hopping on just to enjoy the world and the experience and the story, exploring. It's all great. I think Sumeru is the best region they've ever done, and I think this is what the game does best. I know some of the hardcores don't care about that, and to them I say, it's time to move on. Trust me when I say that you will be happier. Time is the most precious thing we got, and if you aren't happy playing a game, you need to bounce, man. To be clear, I am not defending MiHoYo, or should I say Hoyoverse, because I guess they made so much money that they're a fucking universe now. Trust me, I got a kick out of that when I first booted up the game. I think the combat aspect is such wasted potential, and the reasoning they gave is genuinely laughable. Their entire business model is to cause anxiety. They want you to FOMO into wishing. They want you to be bored of the game and to wish because there's nothing else going on. And yet they don't want to make players anxious at the same time. Anxious about content? I can't understand that. And while I'm complaining, I also think co-op functionality is still being completely underutilized at the moment. But again, I have accepted that this isn't what the devs want out of Genshin. At least not at the moment. They could always change their mind depending upon how the game's doing and change of heart, I guess. But they have other games that they're working on. And I hope that maybe one of those few games will call upon what we want. We'll have to see. My final remarks overall are, you have to enjoy the game for what it is or move on. There's a lot of fish in the sea, and don't waste your time on a game you're not having fun with. And also, speaking of fish, and rather fishing, fuck the fishing in Genshin. I will never get a single copy of the catch. Anyways, hopefully someone finds this video and can understand where I'm coming from. I don't know if anyone will even see this, but I wanted to put it out there.